What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Cleveland Sports Unfiltered. And it's been a minute since we talked Cavs here. A lot of the recent videos has been Browns related, but it's been time since we talked the Cavs with the postseason coming up. And, the reason I really haven't been talking Cavs is because I haven't been one to overreact one way or another to the Cavs, especially since the James Harden trade. I've been one to observe the team and to see how everybody will acclimate themselves together in their new roles, especially with the obviously the acquirement of James Harden and then the return of Max Strus 2 weeks ago, about a week or two ago. Yeah, about a week or two ago. And with the return of Max Strus, some players has, lost a little bit of minutes, like players like Keon and Dennis, but also with the injury to Jalen that recently happened, those players' minutes have obviously upticked. And, I just want to give my thoughts on, how what I think the Cavs can do better going into the playoffs and what I think they can do to, shake the stigma if you can't get out of the second round, shake this soft narrative, because I do think that my observation of them, watching them so far, is I do think they have been shaking this, soft narrative and all those things. I do think they've been playing a more physical brand of basketball. Sometimes the defense, you know, can leave to be desired sometimes, especially like the last game. It was just odd with all of the Golden State's big guns is out and, to let Golden State back in their game. I don't like that, and you know that's some things we can clean up. But for sure, there's some concerning things too. Like definitely a concern is I think the Cavs sometimes tend to play with their food. It showed itself last game. If anybody watched that game, if you stayed up late enough to watch that game, the Cavs basically had to lead the entirety of the game, and then they just let go. The state kept constantly hang around, and made that game way closer than what it should have been. And that tends to be this Cavs team. For some odd reason, we sit and tend to play with our food for no apparent reason instead of stepping on guys' throat and just killing all hope of them getting back into the game. We just constantly let them hang around, and sometimes we lose those games. Sometimes those games be way closer than what it should be, and sometimes I think if you can finish those games, you let your starters rest, and you don't put so much of a heavy burden on starters. And sometimes, those games, you risk injury to your starters. Now I know any game is, you can get injured at any time, but I'm not saying that's the reason that players get injured or anything like that. But if you can wrap those games up to where you're just leading from whistle to whistle, just wrap those games up, especially if you within a game, especially in the second half, you have like a damn near 20 to 30 point lead. Now I get this modern day NBA, that is absolutely nothing that can be wiped out like that. So I can understand that, but the tendency to play with your food, sometimes take ill-advised shots, turnovers that's just like super head scratching, and I think that's some for sure things that they definitely need to clean up and definitely need to hunker down on playing with their food way too much. But I do think that this Cavs team definitely has improved on the defensive side of the ball, especially on the perimeter, especially with the additions of Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. Sometimes Dennis will get picked on depending on matchups and stuff like that. But we're gonna need count on him to bring that dog like mentality. Him and Keon to bring that dog like mentality, and also Max. Let me not leave out Mad Max. 'Cause Mad Max is a dog. Mad Max is a dog. Anybody who knows me knows I am a fan of Mad Max. He is a huge part of what the Cavs did, and it was obvious. Like you've seen the Cavs in any playoff series with Max Strus. He's almost like the only guy Donovan seems to trust. Like he take big shots, bring the ball up the court, play make, like, and you can obviously tell that Donovan trusts him. Now, who knows if that same trust? I think it is, but who knows if that same elevated amount of trust is still going to be there with James Harden on the floor. You know, obviously James Harden is going to get the first crack at any late game situation or anything like that over Max Strus, and that's fine. But top dogs is Don and James. It's obvious, but Max is definitely a pivotal key guy. Um, I don't know if I would like to see him in the starting lineup or if you need his scoring off the bench because sometimes the starters start sluggish. You need that um, exertion of energy and effort, and sometimes you just need that hot, quick scoring ability that Max provides that can turn a 12-point lead into maybe a 3-point lead within a matter of a few shots. So um, I don't know where I would like Max to see Max in the starting lineup or anything like that. You guys let me know where y'all would like to see him. I know some like to see him in the starting lineup. Some like to see him on the bench. I'm like really conflicted on that. It's a great argument for both, honestly. It's a great argument for both. But, and he's going to be a pivotal player, just like, Evan Mobley in certain series is definitely going to be a key pivotal player, especially if we play a Boston or anything like that, which is something I do want to address. So over this whole time that I haven't been talking about the Cavs, I've been listening to others content creators and sports shows like UCSS Cleveland Sports Show, and there's this debate on should we lose games to keep the 4 seed to avoid Boston in the second round. Now, any of you guys who've been following me, you guys know I I got smoke for everybody. Now, am I disrespecting Boston? Absolutely not. They're a championship team. They're championship battle tested. They're a hardened playoff team, and they know what it takes to get it done, and they got what it takes to get it done, and they got the top guns to get it done. So, no disrespect to Boston. I will always show Boston their fair due respect in that they have definitely earned being Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, leading the way, especially with their head coach who, can be hit or miss, depending on who you ask. But he's obviously a great coach. But, there's this debate on should you avoid them. No. No. You play who you play. You can't avoid them for long if they're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So, wow, what's delaying it another round? I don't understand you know, and that's where people would call the team soft. No, that's a fan soft mentality. I don't subscribe to that. You play who you play and made a better team win. If they win, they obviously the better team. I'm not trying to get a cakewalk. Isn't the LeBron led Cavaliers. We don't have Thor, as I will call him. We don't have Thor on the roster. We don't have the Thanos on the roster to the ultimate big Joker. We don't have that anymore. To where I don't care who we play. Like I know you guys hate him on the internet, but one of my favorite shows I love to watch is Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Shout out to them. But Jason Lloyd always adequately explains. You look at Boston and you look at New York. Do you think they give a shit about who the fuck they play in the first round, second round, Eastern Conference Finals? No. Why the fuck should we? If we're so confident in the team as we say we are, why in the fuck do we care who we play in the second round or Eastern Conference Finals or the first round? Because now, now the debate is, should we be scared of the Atlanta Hawks? No, you should not be afraid of them. Respect them, obviously, because they're one of the hottest teams right now. I think they won 17 of the last 18 games. They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. And I know they give the narrative is that the Wings give the Cavs, a tremendous amount of problems and disadvantages and stuff like that. But that was the notion with Darius because, Darius is an undersized guard and the backcourt was an undersized backcourt, and the Cavs was at the time used to be backcourt heavy centric. They still are, but you swap out Darius for James, not only do you get a way bigger point guard, you get a you know more stout point guard who can take that physicality and stuff like that. Not saying Darius couldn't or like he was soft or anything like that. I don't buy that notion. Maybe it's just because I'm a Darius stan. So, you know, I never bought that notion that he was soft or anything like that because if he did, he wouldn't have played through the toe injury like he did or anything like that. But, he's gone and I'm going to let him be and I'm going to continue to root for him and continue to watch him. But I do think that definitely the Cavs can, shake this narrative of being soft. And with shaking this narrative, y'all do realize you have to get through the better teams. If you sit and beat the rinky-dink teams, it's and there's going to be no rinky-dink teams in the playoffs. You're not facing Miami of last year. You're not getting this easy opponent from previous years and not even previous years, just from last year because the year before, didn't we face the Orlando Magic? And that was a 7-game series. So we're not going to get this easy opponent to face in the first round or this least path of resistance to the finals or to the Eastern Conference Finals or wherever insert your said goals for the Cavs are. My goals is always the championship. That's my personal goal. Now my realistic goal is make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, make it a hall fought series, and if you win, you win. You lose, you lose. I'm not gonna, kill them because let's be honest. There's some better teams out there than us, like the Knicks, the Pistons, and obviously Boston. Boston is the cream of the crop. Yes, I know the Detroit Pistons have the best record in the league, but Boston is the cream of the crop and who everybody is gunning to be. But trying to avoid Boston or for some reason having this mindset if you get Detroit in the second round it's much easier than Boston. That's just not true. That's not true. Why do we keep conning ourselves into believing that? I don't believe that. Like I said, there's no such thing as a easy team in the playoffs. Yes, so we got Miami last year and everybody, myself included, fraudulently crowned us as hey, we about to go to the finals after we beat that rinky-dink Miami team, and look what happened in the second round when we actually faced a good team. So I'm not in the notion. I'm not on the bandwagon of losing games to avoid insert said team. Because why? You're gonna have to face them eventually. The further you go along, the harder the team is going to be to beat. The better the team is. If we are confident as our Cavaliers as we say we are, we wouldn't give a shit about who we play. You think Boston fans are giving a fuck about who they play? No. You think maybe I want to avoid Cleveland in the second round. Maybe I want to avoid New York in the second round. Maybe I want to avoid insert team in the second round. No, they don't care. They're like, stack them all up, line them all up, knock them down. They don't care. They've done this. They won the championship. So why should we? If that's where we inspired to be, why the fuck do we give a fuck about who the fuck the Cavs play? I'm sorry, I know I'm cursing a lot, but I'm just been a little frustrated hearing these narratives about maybe the Cavs should drop some games to avoid Boston in the second round. Maybe we should try to stay in the fourth seed and get Atlanta, and then you can play Detroit. Like, Detroit is the fucking pushover team. Have you not seen what they've been doing without Cade Cunningham? They're no pushovers. They're no slouch. They're not a fraudulent number one seed. I don't understand this narrative of avoiding teams. That's soft shit. And I ain't with that soft shit. And I know you guys are not really soft. Well, I hope you guys not soft. But, we from Cleveland. We not soft. But we got to get out of this soft mindset, though, of, hey, maybe the Cavs should avoid this team. And I hope that's not the Cavs mentality. Hey, maybe we should lose this game, sit the starters out this game so we can lose this game so we can stay in the fourth seed, so we can get Atlanta, and so we can try to determine our path to the finals or the Eastern Conference finals or anything like that. Nah, that's sucker shit. We ain't with that sucker shit. Hey, we play who we play, and we knock them all down and line them up. You line them up, we knock them down. We ain't afraid of nobody. We smoke givers and we smoke seekers. That's how I would approach it. I'm a smoke seeker and I'm a smoke giver. I seek to smoke from the best teams, and I give the smoke to the best teams. But no. I've just been tired of hearing that narrative, avoiding Boston or anything like that. Like I said, all respects to Boston. Would I prefer, playing another team? I guess, sure. But if you got to play them, man, you got to play them. You can't be sitting here like, damn, man, we might go out in the second round. No, it's how the fuck can we beat Boston? They're not impossible to beat. Daunting? Yes. Impossible? No. It's not the 17-18 Warriors where it was inevitable they were going to win. Like, damn near the OKC Thunder is right now. Like, it's almost inevitable they're going to win. Like the Dodgers in MLB. It's not like that with Boston. Great team, absolutely. Battle tested, absolutely. Got the guns, absolutely. Is maybe their big guns better than ours? Maybe. Some may say yes, some may say no, depending on how you like Boston's big guns and, if you're just having Homer syndrome. Boston does have the bigger, better guns than ours, but again, daunting, yes. Impossible, no. So I just want all of you guys to get out of that mindset of, hey, let's avoid Boston, or, trying to have those conversations of should we lose to avoid, insert said good team because we want to least path of resistance to the NBA Finals or to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think Donovan Mitchell or James Harden has that mindset. I really don't. I don't think those who have that mindset don't know about the rest of the guys. And, Max Strus. Because Max Strus is a dog, man. I fucking love Max Strus' mindset, man. He's a dog. He does not give a fuck. He has a delusional mindset of thinking he's the best player, even though he's not. But I love his mindset, man. So I don't think he's another one of the guys that give a shit about who the fuck they play. And same with Jalen Tyson. I don't think, I'm saying it. I don't think any of the guys give a shit about who they play. Personally, I don't think they care. And we shouldn't either, guys. If we think our Cavaliers is as good as we think they are, and we think they can get to the finals or at least reach the NBA finals or at least compete for a shot at the NBA finals, a la, 7 game series, 6 game series, something like that, hard fought 7 game series, we shouldn't care who we play because I don't think they don't. I just want us to get out of that mindset of caring about who we play because that's soft. We want our team to get out of that soft narrative of being soft. Well, we can't avoid that, you know, interpretation of the team if that's what we're constantly putting on them because we want them to avoid all of the good teams to have a better path to the finals. That's not going to help us get, better beating up on a rinky dink team. But there, like I said earlier, there's no rinky dink teams in this playoffs. Atlanta's hot. Boston is great. New York is good. The Detroit Pistons is great. Man, you gotta fight through it. Gotta fight through it. I trust our big guns. I hope you guys do. But yeah, that's a little rant on that. But that's just what I wanted to say about the Cavs and because it's been a minute since I spoke on the Cavs and gave my opinions to them because like I told y'all earlier in the season, I never wanted to be too high, too low on them. Never wanted to overreact to a win or a loss. I haven't, and I'm gonna continue not to. But I'm just giving my thoughts on the Cavs going into the playoffs. Definitely some things that we can improve on, and definitely some encouraging things as well too. Definitely some encouraging things to see. But also would love to see the team just play the last of these games together because we got to get that chemistry much stronger. Because I don't think from what I heard, is like 70 plus minutes that the new core four has played together, and that chemistry has to be there if we want to make this deep run like we want to make. And this is a pivotal run this year, especially if you want to keep Donovan Mitchell happy. Signing him is the most important thing this summer. And the GOAT. And the GOAT. Maybe potentially bring it back to GOAT. But, who knows how the finances will go on any of that stuff. But, and now that's a video for later. I'm going to make a video on that later. Maybe in the off season. I'm going to make a video on that. But it's definitely this playoff run is a vital, pivotal playoff run for the Cavaliers, especially if they want to keep Donovan Mitchell happy or keep Donovan Mitchell period, because he's eligible for an extension, and if he doesn't sign, who knows what the hell can happen. That will also probably affect James. If he want to sign, I'm pretty sure if Don don't sign, I'm not saying like I don't think that Donovan is like a free agent or anything, but he's just up for an extension. And obviously you can see the Cavs is going all out to show him how much we want to win and how much we want to keep him, because everything we've done is to cater to him. So I definitely give the Cavs credit. They've tried to exhaust every option that they have to keep him happy so he can re-sign in the summertime. So this is a pivotal run, man. This is a pivotal run. And hopefully they can live up to our expectations. They can live up to their expectation. But I just hope they stay healthy and we can really see the true potential of this team, because, man, way too many times these previous years we've just been hurt. And the injury bug has just bitten us in the ass. And it's frustrating because it's like last year I know we could have beat Indiana had we been fully healthy. The Cavs definitely know it. let's be honest, in the back of Pacers fans' minds, they know. In the back of the Pacers' mind, they know. But that's, old shit. As Smokey would say, why you bringing up old shit? But you know, I just want the team to stay healthy. Health is a real thing that you can't control. A twisted ankle, uh, you know, torn Achilles, pop ACL, anything like that. Those things you cannot control. Injuries, you can't control. So, those is left up to the basketball guys if you believe in the basketball guys. So, you would just love to see this team stay healthy and compete with the better teams fully healthy. That way, we can't say, man, we if we had James or if we had Evan or if we had Max or if we had, you know, insert your favorite player or insert, good player on the team. I want to say, hey, man, they were just a better team. Or hey, we could have done this better and maybe we could do this. Or, hey, maybe if in the offseason we could add this, who knows? Like, I want to get to that point to where we know if this is a championship caliber team or do we have to add something else. But this is gonna, like I said, this is gonna be a vital playoff run for the Cavaliers. This iteration of the Cavaliers, I should say, for this iteration of the Cavaliers, this is a very, very, very. I can't stress this enough. This is a very, very vital playoff run because you can have Donovan for long term, or maybe you could just have him for another year, and then he's gone after next year, or he's traded by next trade deadline or anything like that. So, you know, those are just my thoughts on the Cavaliers. It's been a minute since I talked about them. You know, but y'all let me know what y'all think about the comment on think in the comment section down below. Y'all give me y'all thoughts on the Cavs going into the playoffs. Y'all give me y'all feelings on, who we should play. But until next time, peace.